All right, guys, J6.4 here, and we're going to break down this EA that we're testing, and we're testing it with real money now, but the back test showed something totally unbelievable. In 2024, it took $100 and turned it into over $170,000. Do we believe it? Of course not, but is it worth testing with a $100 small account? Absolutely. But before we start, let's take a look at this. For those of you that are new, this is our disclaimer. We're not financial advisors, and this is not financial advice. What we do is we take automated trading systems and trade copy, and we test it in real time with real money, and we report with full transparency the results back to you so you can make an informed decision yourself. Hey guys, this is the strategy tester report, which is a back test when it comes to Forex and MT4, MT5 platform. So as you can see here, this is the Opkee Gold X VIP. This is a private. It's private now. It's a private EA, a private robot that we bought the source code for and went in and did a few tweaks. So it was commercially available, but this is our tweaked version of that. We're not selling this, but we are using it in trade copying, if you like that. Let's take a look at this. Here is the initial deposit, as you can see here. Let's see, can we do that? We put in $100. Let's make sure that we have this correct. 124, 1224 to 1230, 2024. So that's 1 year. And we see that we have this initial deposit was $100. It's a variable spread. That's really, really important because when you get your data, you don't want it to be a fixed spread because throughout the day, throughout the week, throughout the month, spreads can widen, spreads can become more narrow, it can compress, and we want to make sure that we get the most accurate back test that we possibly can. And I think that this is supposed to be like 90% accurate as far as the back test goes. All right. So, but now you say, okay, the back test is supposed to be super, super accurate. Again, guys, there's nothing like trading live accounts. That's why we go with the minimum amount that the programmer says that we can test with, because if it works with $100 on a live account, therefore we can tweak it, make it a little bit more conservative, and then run it with the larger accounts. Now, of course, we're going to scale down the possible results, but at the same time, if you're hitting anywhere between 25% to 100% a year, we're good with that. So it doesn't have to be, again, $100 into $177,000. I'm sorry, that's not even the profit. I mean, I'm sorry, that's not even the balance. That is the total profit. So you add that $100 back in. So let's take a look at some of this. Let's look at the drawdowns here. This right here basically is a 40% drawdown, and this one is a 50% drawdown when it comes to the relative drawdown. Now, this is what these drawdowns are. Let's just say I have $1,000. My balance is $1,000. Somewhere during this particular period, it can evaporate some of that profit all the way down to like $600. So that'll be a 40% drawdown, right? So it's going to take 40, not 40, but $4,000 and pull it down, or $400 and pull it down to $600. Same thing here. This is a 50% drawdown. Now, why is that important? Because I'll have certain expectations. If the biggest drawdown is 60%, in other words, I'll see $1,000 go from 1,000 to $400. At least I know what to expect, and I can handle just about anything if I know what to expect. And most people don't show you those. They don't show you what the drawdowns are, the wild swings in this. So you've got to have almost a casino mentality or even a crypto mentality. But most people, they'll see the end result. What? It made $177,000 in 1 year. Now, if it did do that, luck would be part of that equation, no doubt. Now, look how many lost trades in that particular year. Now, this is going to be important because I'm going to show you what's going on this year, which is 2025, and how it's performing in the Trump tariff era. Okay, so it's going to perform a little bit different. Some things that you couldn't even program for, but I just want to know, how is this program working during all of those tariff effects. for the lack of a better term. So here we go. This only had one consecutive loss. I'm sorry, one consecutive loss. That means one loss in a row. And of course, only one loss the whole year. One loss the whole year. All right. And this shows, guys, when you see this, it's going to show every trade, trade for trade. Now, there's something else, too, that trading with a small account, something else that you will learn, which is super, super important. Let's see. Where's that loss? I want to show you the loss. Okay, here it is. So at this particular time, the balance was like around 800. As you can see here, 800 some odd bucks. So for every win, it was around $29, but the loss was 28. So the loss is like 10 times the win. Now, conventional wisdom says that sucks. I don't care about that. I'm going to risk it with $100. I want to know if it performs like the back test or even close to the back test. I will be all right. Now, I want you to check out a whole different perspective. This is the exact same robot, exact same settings, but this is from the beginning of this year, January of 2025, all the way through the current date, which is July 16th. And you can see that here. So how did it survive, or did it survive through Trump's tariffs? Let's take a look at it. Here we go. As you can see that our initial deposit, $100 there. The gross profit, just add that back to it. But the gross profit is 342 bucks. So we're still looking at a 300% gain even through all of the Trump tariffs, that period. Now, look at this major difference, because I wanted to know, in a highly volatile, unpredictable market like that, would it trade gold with the same vigor that it did on the what I will call the easy years? There's no such thing as an easy year when it comes to Forex, but I think you get the drift. So here we go. Let's look at we have the gross there. The drawdowns, here's 50%. This one is 51%. So in other words, guys, if we had $1,000 in there, you're going to see it go all the way down to what, 49, $490, something along those lines. So expecting that, I'm not going to panic as much, knowing that's just part of the game. And remember, I only put, in this example, I only put $100 in there just to start it. And where's the other one? Yeah, both of these, the relative and the maximum drawdown. So I really just look at the maximum drawdown, which was $204. And hey, we still came out with a 300% gain just by going through all of this. Look at this, guys. Look how that equity curve looks. Loss, 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 loss. Well, losing trade is not necessarily a loss. And then it went nuts and went right back up to over 423. Let's look at how many consecutive losses. Look at this. It had two consecutive losses, mean that it had two losses in a row. Nothing more, nothing less. But look at this. It had 10 losing trades. Last year, when the waters were calm, it only had one losing trade for the whole year. This is the first 7 months, and it's showing 10 losses, but the recovery was really well with that. There's not that much of a stagnation period, and I'm going to run a test on that just to see how long the stagnation period was. So that's that, and we just put $100. Well, we've had $100 in an account, and actually this particular robot is on a $100,000 account as well. But here we go. We're looking for account growth just to end this whole thing, and we're 100% in with $100. What that means is we're just using the highest risk setting, only if the back test is successful. No human intervention. Now, this is what I mean by that. When I look at the news, normally I would shut an EA down. But if I'm 100% in, that means I'm going to trust the EA. This particular EA, this particular robot actually has a parameter where it will shut itself off during high news times and riskier times like that. But no one could have predicted what the tariffs were going to do, but yet it's still up 300%, a little bit over it. As you guys know, if you're part of our Patreon group, we have 3 milestones before I even touch it, before I take any money out of it to protect myself, and that's $100 to $1,000, then that $1,000 to $10,000, and that $10,000 to $100,000. Okay. Now, remember again the results here. The 2024 back test was $100 to 177, which is totally unbelievable. I know that there's a lot of shit that can go wrong. And then, of course, 2025 through July 15th or 16th, and I call that the Trump effect. It's $100 to $400 plus. How about that? We'll just put that. But so over 300%, no doubt. So go out there, make some real money, and if you like to, you can get some of the tools and resources that we have by joining our free Patreon, and also we have some trade copy opportunities in there as well. Go out there and make some real money, guys.